Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Doctor Who episode 8 video, part 2 of the Zygon episode. Just careful for spoilers if you haven't watched it yet. Who knew that Osgood's first name was Petronella? It sounds a lot like Petrichor. But real quick reminder, new round of the giveaway starts now. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. It's just a $20 Amazon gift card. So let's get started. Whole bunch of Easter eggs for the 50th anniversary in this. Top 5 WTF, starting with Clara wakes up inside the dream. There's this classic John Carpenter movie called They Live, where everybody wakes up and realizes that the world has been taken over by aliens. That's what this was riffing on. You could also look at this as calling back to Soufflé Girl when Clara did not realize that she was a Dalek. Most people just remember that movie for Rowdy Roddy Piper's scenes. He takes his sunglasses off and says, "I came here to do two things, kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gum." And then he has one of the most epic street fights ever. But Clara's able to use the psychic bond that she has with Zygella to try and keep her from killing the Doctor, just giving him enough time to escape, communicate with the Doctor on a really low level. And I'm assuming at the end of the episode, the minute Zygella became one of the new Osgoods, she stopped, like she broke the psychic bond with Clara. It was a lot of fun seeing Clara go up against Clara. There have actually been a lot of episodes in the last 2 years that have put Clara against the Doctor in one way or another. Obviously, the explanation here is that it's Zygon Clara going up against the Doctor, but I think knowing that there's a ticking clock on Clara's time with the Doctor, they just want to create some emotional distance so that we're open to somebody else coming in and being the new companion, who is definitely not going to be Osgood now. On to number 4, Osgood and the Doctor tried to help the Zygon that was forced to normalize. The big WTF here is that he commits suicide. He just can't handle the radical Zygons forcing him to live a way that he does not want to live. You could view this as discrimination for any type of special interest group. And anyone from any different cultures, any different sexual orientation, a group comes along and forces them to live a way they don't want to live, and it can drive them to suicide. This is probably about as political as the episode got, and I felt they were subtle enough about it. Doctor Who does deal with real-world social issues, but I think it tries not to beat you over the head with it, so that you notice them, but they don't overpower the story. Like, it doesn't become too preachy. On to number 3 though, Kate Stewart is the real Kate Stewart. There's this big theme in the episode about hybrids. Are you a human? Are you Zygon? Like, they wanted the Osgood identity to be a big mystery, but I think they really wanted you to know ahead of time what was going on with Kate Stewart. 5 rounds to the head. That's actually an Easter egg for a classic episode called The Daemons. I think it was her father that spoke that line. And anytime there's a unit episode, they typically refer back to the classic unit episodes in some way or another. And if you are a big unit fan, just go back and watch a lot of Third Doctor episodes. That was a really big unit run. On to number 2 though, let's make a deal. So we have very broad references here, especially Capaldi doing a really weird sounding American type accent. Hearing that made me do a double take. But this is all about the 50th anniversary. Pressing the button, it just remembering the giant red button of the moment, and then getting back to Kate Stewart versus Kate Stewart. Obviously this time it was versus Zygella, but it's the same sentiment, and I love the fact that Zygella figures out there's nothing in the boxes. The boxes themselves are more of a teaching device to get like whoever's trying to blow the world up to figure out that they shouldn't blow the world up. It's like the movie War Games. The only way to win is to not play. And then the Doctor starts talking about how he did the same thing with the Time War. I didn't press the button. But the difference with the actual 50th anniversary, when the War Doctor didn't press the button, that would have actually worked. That bomb was real. These bombs are not. And in case you missed it, he said it only took 14 tries to get it right. That means that he wiped their minds all that time until Zygella finally came around. At the end of the episode, when the Doctor was like, longest month of my life, and Clara said, it was only 5 minutes, and he replied, I'll be the judge of time, that was just a reference to the time that Clara lost. I think they really were at it for a whole month, and the Doctor just had to keep wiping all their minds. But finally, on to my number 1 WTF moment, the question that everyone is asking, are you human or are you Zygon? Like, the Doctor and Kate Stewart keep asking Osgood what she is. Here's what I think is going on. There are a couple different interpretations. If you take it literally, then during Series 8, Missy killed the real Osgood. It was meant to be this really emotional moment for the fandom because she was killing someone you love. So if you're taking that narrative literally, then the real Osgood died. Zygon Osgood kind of became a hybrid because she was so intertwined with the mind of real Osgood that she doesn't feel like a Zygon anymore, but she also kind of remembers that she's not fully human. So that's why she's dodging the question. I'll tell you the answer when everyone stops asking the question. Really what the Doctor wants to know, and everyone else, is the original Osgood still alive? And if this were the original Osgood, there'd be no reason to say otherwise. Like, she'd just come out and say, oh yeah, I'm the real Osgood. I didn't die, don't worry. The other interpretation you could take is the Moffat lies interpretation, like where he retcons himself, pulls a tiny bit from the 50th anniversary, and turns it into a big plot device in a future episode. He has done that in past episodes, where he takes like a little detail from a previous episode and turns it into a big thing much later. The way I see it is if you want this to be real Osgood, then that completely destroys the emotional weight of Osgood dying during Series 8. So I believe that this is the Zygon Osgood, but I will concede that she is something of a hybrid now just because she was so connected to real Osgood, so she doesn't completely know whether she's human or Zygon. That is not the case with Zygella though. We definitely know there is a Zygella Osgood. And just to explain Osgood not becoming the next companion, that was what that moment was about with the Doctor, where she's like, I have to stay here, I have a job to do, so love it or hate it, no Osgood companion. Let me know in the comments though, here's the big question. Do you think this is real Osgood and Moffat lies, or do you think this is Zygon Osgood and Moffat isn't completely destroying the emotional moment that he wrote into Series 8? I mentioned most of the Easter eggs already, but at the end of the episode, one of the Osgoods is wearing another version of a 7th Doctor costume. Really my favorite Easter egg though was for They Live. That's such a classic horror movie, so you should definitely check it out if you haven't seen it yet. But congratulations to last week's giveaway winner, Boromir of Gondor. You win a $20 Amazon gift card. Just be sure to private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact info. What's going to happen next is I'm a little bit behind today. I'm spending some time with my friends. They just got married, and Raggedy Man is late for their wedding, so I'm going to try and get an Arrow Flash Supergirl video out. Then there's Game of Thrones and Walking Dead on Sunday. Hopefully all that will post on time. That is definitely my goal. We'll see. I might have to pull another all-nighter. We'll see. As always though, I'll post updates on Facebook and Twitter. If you don't know where to find me there are links at the bottom of the description. While you guys wait for all that to post, you can click here for last week's episode of Doctor Who, and you can click here for the Warcraft trailer I just posted, and I posted an international Star Wars trailer, so that'll open up a playlist where you can see all that stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody, let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.